Hi, are you feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or kind of not sure what to do next with your business? You're not alone. The question is, when is the right time to bring in a consultant? And I'm here to help you with that. My name is Dr. Emily Lean. I have a PhD in management, and I've been teaching MBA classes for almost 20 years. I'm the Associate Dean at a Division I state school, College of Business. And I want to spend some time with you today and talk about why you need a consultant and when's the right time to bring them in. The best way I can explain it to people when they ask me about what I do as a consultant and when is it time to hire a consultant and why should I hire someone and all the questions, right? Is I give the analogy of a doctor, right? You need a doctor at different times of your life for different things, for different reasons. Well, a consultant is kind of like a doctor for your business. When you're pregnant, you go to the doctor a lot because your body is in a time of growth and fast change. That's the exact same way for a business, right? If your business is growing quickly and you're having to make fast decisions and you've never been there before, right? Especially if you've ever been around a first time mom, there's a lot of fear there because her body's changing so much she doesn't know what to do and what to expect next. And so it's helpful to have someone around that tells her what to do and what to expect. So the same thing for a small business that's growing. As your business is taking off, there's things that are going and sometimes you can't even keep up with it. And that's a really good time to have a consultant that you meet with regularly, pretty often, maybe once a week, every 2 weeks, definitely once a month, right? But there's other times where you kind of feel confident and steady and you're healthy and you just go for your annual checkup. That's the same thing, right? You've had this consultant, you've developed this relationship with them, and they've got you through the growth and the transition and all the exciting part that's a little scary. And now you've kind of settled into your business. Now you still want to check in with them. Maybe you check in with them quarterly, once a year, twice a year. Maybe you just get Christmas cards and that's kind of it for a while. And that's okay. Maintain that relationship because just like your body gets sick, sometimes your business is going to get sick and you're not going to know what to do. And you're going to think, but I've been doing everything right. I did everything and now things are changing and I don't know how to deal with that. What am I going to do? That's why you keep that relationship with that consultant because that time of transition, again, things are changing. Maybe there's new laws, new compliance, new procedures. Um, Maybe it's time to downsize, right? All the different reasons why you might need to bring a consultant in again to help get your company healthy and back on track. For most small businesses, they need a consultant when they can least afford it. And that's a scary truth, right? Um, People are afraid to get sick because they're going to have to go to the doctor and the doctor costs money. The same way with a small business consultant or even a mid-sized business consultant. You need the help, you need the expertise and the insight when you're young and you don't know what you don't know. But that's also the time when you can probably least afford to pay for a consultant. And what I would encourage you to do is, again, find a consultant, build that relationship with them and explain to them, this is all I can afford. Can you help me? Right? Sometimes they can do that. Sometimes they'll say, you know what? We'll have a scale, right? And for the first 6 months, we'll charge this amount of money. And if I can't guarantee to improve your business, then we won't change it. We won't change the rates. But if you listen to what I'm telling you to do and you bring in more money and you're getting the leads and you're doing all the things that I'm telling you to do and your business is growing, then it's only fair that the consultant should be able to charge what they normally charge. But that can be a sliding scale with you, right? As the company grows, as that consultant proves what they can do, then they can, charge appropriately. But the really important thing about that time of growth when you don't have the money to pay for the consultant is that the consultant can help you from making costly errors. They can help you make your company more efficient. They can also make sure that you stay in regulation. You are following the rules and policies because unfortunately, especially as a small business owner who is new, you don't know what you don't know. And that can be dangerous and it can be costly. For example, I was out recently, probably a couple of years ago. I was out, we were out in the boat talking to some friends, having a good time, stopped to fill up for gas, and I just randomly started having a conversation with a lady. And it got brought up that, I do business. And she was all excited because she was telling me that she had just broke away and started her own business as well. And she was just really excited. And just because I'm nosy and business is my thing and I love talking about business. My kids hate it, but I love it. I started asking her a few questions, kind of seeing like how she was doing, maybe going to offer her some free advice or roadblocks or whatever, because she, had figured out I was a consultant and wanted to ask me some questions. And she told me how much she'd made over the past few months. And to be honest, my first reaction was a little bit jealous because I did not make that much money when I first started my own business. But she was making several $1,000s a month. So good for her. She had a niche and she was hitting that market and she knew what she was doing. But my very first question, before I even thought, before I reacted, no filter, I said, well, you've set some money aside for taxes, right? And her face just went completely blank. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you need to be setting aside at least 1/3. It's probably a little bit more than you need, but just on the safe side. Like every time $1,000 comes in, put 300 in the savings. And she had for the last 3 months not put a single dime aside for any taxes for any of that stuff, right? And she panicked and she was, what am I going to do? And I said, okay, whatever. Keep doing what you're doing. Next month, every penny you make, put it in the bank. And from that point on, then pull out 1/3 and save it. She was so good at her job. Like she knew exactly what she wanted. She went out there and she got it. She started her business, but she didn't know about the backside, what goes on behind the curtains, right? The paperwork, the pushing, the HR compliance, all that kind of stuff. She didn't know what she didn't know. And if she had taken the time and sat down and talked to a consultant, or if I had met her, a month before that, maybe she could have saved herself some headache and some fear because she would have known to set that money aside. So that's a lot of things that's happening during the growth. Another time that you need a consultant, again, where you probably can least afford it, is during a time of transition. And maybe the time of transition is the company is growing faster than you expected. You are picking up employees at a rate that you can't keep up with them. You can't train them. You're having to hire someone else to train them. That's a great time to bring in a small business consultant. And I listened to a really interesting podcast the other day. If you guys haven't watched it, Diary of a CEO, I love it. I highly recommend it. And he interviews Mr. Beast. And it was cool because my son was in the car with me. We were listening to it, and he was really interested in it. It's got a few F-bombs in it, but otherwise it's pretty good and safe for kids to listen to. And he talked about how one of the hardest challenges he had was, as the company was growing, bringing people in who were specialized in that area because he was trying to keep it, more where they were in control. And he finally realized that he needed to bring in people that were specializing in those areas. He ended up hiring people full time for that. But sometimes if your business, you can't hire a full-time person. You can't hire a full-time HR person. What you can do is partner with a consulting firm or someone such as myself who can go in there and do the HR training for you. They come in once a month or anytime there's a new hire. They go over the employee handbook with the new hire. They make sure they have any questions. They go over any training they might have. They go over, what they need to do in case there's problems or how to file grievances, right? And then that consultant steps away. What that does for you is it saves you the time and the money and the resources of having to have a full-time person to do that. That is a great option for a consultant. Another time that you need a consultant that's a little scary is a crisis management. Maybe something massive has changed. Maybe there's been a whole new regulation, a new rule, a new policy, tariffs, right? All these things go into effect and you don't know how to deal with it and you've never encountered that problem before. That's a really important time to reach out into your community, check LinkedIn, message me. I'll help you find you someone if I'm in the area, and figure out what you need to do to handle that crisis and get on top of it. Another thing that you might need is a technology change. You've used this software, you've used this CRM. It's been great. You've had no problems with it, and now it's time. Again, your company's growing, and it's a good thing. But part of that growth involves change, and you're having to implement a new technology. And if you're not familiar with it, you can spend a lot of time and headache banging your head and deleting and redoing and relearning, right? Versus if you just take the time, bring a consultant in, they can go over with everyone, train them for a month or two, and step out, right? There's a saying I associate it with military, but I don't think anyone really has a direct quote for this. But basically, the quote is: "If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together." There's times when a small business is growing and you're a one-man shop and you go fast and you make decisions. You make decisions fast. You fail fast. You recover fast. And there's other times when you want to go far and you want your company to be successful and you want to be in it for the long haul. And those are the times where you need to stop, take a breath, and go, okay, I know a lot about my thing, my niche, whatever I'm doing, but I don't necessarily know about business. Maybe I need to bring someone in to help me with that, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. Please check out my company, Lean Management Solutions. I'm here to help. I want to serve you. I have a lot of free resources on the website. Check that out first. See if any of that helps you. If not, reach out to me. I love making these videos. I make them all the time for my class. You guys don't see them because I keep them unlisted. But if you have things you need, if you have topics you want talked about, please comment below and subscribe. So that way I can subscribe to the channel. That way I can put more out there for you guys. Thank you. Have a great day.